Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afiq Abdillah from Biologi Class C. In here, I will answer the final semester exam question for the history of Islamic civilization. Number 1. Explain how the main foundation that the Prophet laid down in building Islamic civilization. Explain in detail its point and how is it relevant to our life today. Point number 1 is education. First, the effort to educate illiteracy in the Arabic society, which was known to be illiterate. The arrival of Prophet Muhammad to Medina at the start of his hijrah raises awareness on reading and writing. When entering Medina, he saw Jewish people teaching children how to read and write. The Prophet was interested in it, so he told his friends to learn from the Jewish people. What he did is a guidance on the spirits of science. Muslims may learn from anyone, when even to people who subscribe to other religions. Second, turning the mosque into the center of all activities. After arriving in Medina, the Prophet erected the Nabawi Mosque. He used the mosque to hold all kinds of activity, from spreading Islamic teaching to educating people on how to read and write. Everything is held in the mosque, and is it no strictly only from praying. What the Prophet Muhammad did to taught his friends to learn from the Jewish people is relevant today, that we must continue to learn from even from people who subscribe other religions. Point number 2 is socio-cultural. First, the erasure of slavery. It is not coincidental that in Islam there were punishment for Muslim adults, which mandates for the freeing of slaves. The raising of slaves words can also be seen when Bilal calls people to pray and honored position. Prophet Muhammad chose him, who was a slave, to do the deed as a gesture of equality. The next is Madinah Charter. Is the basis of religious tolerance. It inspires modern Muslims to keep the religious tolerance as present today. Point number 3 is economy. In the Arabic culture, a few people took on the responsibility of buying merchants. The Prophet himself was once deep within the merchants community. He was also very familiar with the practice of usury, riba. The erasure of usury is related to the effort to erase poverty. Other than erasing usury, Islam pays special attention to monopolistic practice to prevent it, so that wealth is not only pooled to one person. Then the mandatory rule to donate in the form of almsgiving, dividing to two, males and al-fitr. What the Prophet Muhammad did is very relevant because at this time the lives of Muslims are very surrounded by the practice of usury. Therefore, We must be careful to avoid usury as the Prophet Muhammad did. Question number 2. Explain the change the Prophet made in building the city of Medina. How is it relevant in our life today? Number 1. Constructing mosque as a way to educate Muslim observation and morals, a place to pray, a place to study Islam with the foundation of Al-Quran and Hadith, a way to connect to fellow Muslims, a place of socialization, a place to discuss matters with the intention of finding a mutually agreed solution. Number 2. Building on the society economy by enacting the market near the mosque. Prophet Muhammad and his friends did build a market not far away from the Nabawi Mosque. This market is intended so that Muslims can see how Islamic teaching fairly arranges how the economic works. 3. Madinah Charter. Madinah Charter is a document written by Prophet Muhammad. It was a formal agreement between him and all ethnic groups. This Madinah Charter is the basis of religion tolerance. It inspires modern Muslims to keep the religious tolerance as present today. What the Prophet Muhammad did to build Medina is still relevant to today's life, because we have to prioritizing tolerance in building the country. Question number 3. What is the Madinah Charter? Explain the most important contents of the Madinah Charter. What was behind the emergence of the Madinah Charter, and how relevant the Madinah Charter is in the context of human life today. Madinah Charter is a document written by Prophet Muhammad. It was a formal agreement between him and all ethnic groups and important stakeholders in Medina in the year of 622 BC. This document was written in a very clear manner. 5 important points in the Constitution of Medina are: Number 1 is the equalness of all people in Medina. Everyone is seen as equal regardless of their religion, belief, and race. Number 2, the freedom to subscribe to any religion from Medina people. Number 3, peace, where everyone is responsible to maintain national security and reject any despotic people who seek to destroy. Number 4, tolerance to strongly unite Medina populace. Number 5, every Medina resident pay bills from prisoners. The Madinah Charter was created with the main goals of ending the strongly quarrel between Bani Aus and Bani Khazraj in Medina. For that, the document sets forth that in principle, religion harmony in Indonesia has been regulated in such a way. Various regulation has been prepared by the government to be realized. Basically, the rules are not much different from the rules contained in the Madinah Charter. If in the end there are various conflicts between religious community in Indonesia, this is not solely related to religious issues, but is entered into other realms, including the driven by various interests, especially political interests. Question number 4. Tell us some evidence about the Islamic civilization prosperity and why did it collapse then? What are the factors that led to the collapse of Islamic civilization? What should Muslims do at this time so that Islamic civilization can rise again? The emergence of Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, a mathematician who authored the book of Al-Kitab al-Mukhtar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Mukabalah, Abu Ma'ashar al-Balkhi, an astronomer. In the era of Fatimid Caliphate, development of science, Al-Azhar University was renowned. It was previously a mosque. In the architectural sites, the Ottoman Empire built a large number of schools, mosques with calligraphy such as Fatih Mosque. According to Iceland, some of the reasons for the decline of Islam are ignorance, lack of knowledge, laziness, weak spirits of sacrifice, and loss of work ethic, dynamism, confidence, and counsel. In the additional, he also added two other reasons, namely ultramodernism and conservatism. 5 factors that caused Islam to collapse. Number 1. No unifying ideology. 2. Unclear power transition system. Number 3. The Crusaders. Number 4. Regressions in the Islamic mercantilism. Number 5. Straight from Al-Quran and Sunnah. What we have to do to make Islam rise again. Number 1. Return to the true teaching of Islam and avoid different and misguided Islamic teaching. Number 2. Improve the quality of Muslim human resources through quality education. Number 3. Increase the unity of Muslim, avoid division among fellow Muslim. 4. Dominate science and technology. Question number 5. What lessons can you take from the history of Islamic civilization? What attitude should we take to overcome the difference of opinion in the history of Islamic civilization? Lesson we can take from the history of Islamic civilization. Number 1 is in the course of Muslim history, not everything is good and not everything is bad. Number 2, must maintain the value of unity and Islamic faith. Number 3, maintaining unity. Number 5, if in the history of the journey of Muslim there are many bad elements, it does not mean that Islam is bad, but it is the Muslim who misunderstand Islam. With differences, humans are encouraged to know each other and then understand the difference well. Besides that, don't forget to learn from each other, because the true difference is that humans are increasingly learning and expanding knowledge. This is one reason why differences are often called grants, because life took more beautiful because of diversity. That's all from me. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.